My dear friends, welcome you all once again to another useful presentation from Easy Walk to English Grammar. Today we are going to deal with as and its uses. You may think, what to learn about as, a two-letter little word? It's not so. Learning as will help you a lot in improving your English, especially if you are starting to learn English. Starting means not just ABC I meant. If you are not confident in using or creating sentences in English, or if you feel or if you are afraid of using English confidently before some persons, learning these types of tips will help you a lot. Learning as or the uses of as, where to use as correctly, where to apply as in English sentences, what does it mean then? There are a lot to learn about as. Let me repeat, if you are trying to improve your English, learning the use of as will help you a lot. I hope this much introduction is enough. Let's start with as preposition. We can use as in different contexts, and one among them is we can use it as prepositions. And let's look into how to use it as preposition. Here we can see two sentences on the screen. I worked as a waiter. Mr. Madhav is appointed as the manager of the firm. In the first sentence, we can see a waiter is a noun or a noun phrase. It gets connected to other words in that sentence with the help of the word as, and here we used as a preposition. I think many people are not aware of this fact. We can use as preposition. For them, I give this information. I worked as a waiter. Here as plays the role of a preposition. I hope you understood why or how it acts as a preposition in this context. Coming to the next sentence, Mr. Madhav is appointed as the manager of the firm. Here, the noun the manager, the noun phrase, the manager, gets connected to the other words in the sentences with the help of as, the word as. And here also we can say that as acts as a preposition. That's a function of preposition, connecting a noun with the rest of the words in a sentence. I hope you understood how as plays the role of a preposition. Now we need to know another important matter related to the use of as. We cannot use as plus noun to mean similar to. As plus noun means any noun after as. We cannot use it in that form, as in that form, in the meaning similar to. This point will become more clear when we look into some examples. Here we can see a sentence. She is almost like her mother. You know the meaning of the sentence means she resembles her mother. She looks like her mother. She also has the features, some physical features of her mother. She is almost like her mother. So what does the word like mean here? It means similar to. Let's check what happens if we use as in this context. She is almost as her mother. It's absolutely wrong. We cannot use as instead of like here. We cannot use as plus noun or as plus pronoun in the sense similar to. It will become absurd, foolish. Many people have a tendency to use like this. If you are one among them, please avoid to use as in this context, which will definitely make your English poor. Let's look into one more example. The statue looks like a real fish. The statue, when we look at that statue, we feel that it's a real fish. And we cannot use the statue looks as a real fish. Instead of like, we cannot use as in this context. We cannot use as plus noun or a pronoun in the sense similar to. I think you understood. Now we are going to look into the use of as conjunction. The function of conjunction or the purpose of conjunction is to connect two phrases or two clauses. If you feel this explanation difficult, if you are not sure about what phrases are or what clauses are, leave it. That doesn't matter here to learn as. Of course it matters. We'll deal with those things in some other videos. Here you need not to be worried. Without knowing them also you can learn the use of as. For that we can look into some examples. In this sentence, they arrived as we were leaving as functions as a conjunction. A little before we learned as functioning as a preposition. Here in this sentence, as is not performing as a preposition but as a conjunction. Why? Here we can see two parts of a sentence. They arrived and we were leaving. Two parts. Please observe it closely, you will understand it. The sentence here has two parts. They arrived and we were leaving. Here the word as helps us to connect both these parts of the sentence. When a word serves the purpose of connecting two parts of a sentence, we can call it a conjunction. So, as functions as a conjunction in this sentence. I hope you understood. In the previous sentences where we learned the function of as preposition, you could see that there as was not connecting any two parts, but it just connected a noun with other words in the sentence or a pronoun with other words in a sentence. Here it connects two parts of a sentence. Both of them are widely different. I hope you understood. While serving the function of a conjunction, as has many purposes. And here we can see that as helps us to connect two actions happening simultaneously. Simultaneously means happening together, happening at the same time. That's a function of as here, to connect two actions happening together, happening simultaneously. They arrived as we were leaving. They arrived at the same time that we were leaving. Hope you understood. We can look into another example. I went to bed at 9 a.m. as I had an exam the next day. Here also we can see two parts of a sentence getting connected with the help of the word as. I went to bed at 9 a.m. one part of the sentence. As I had an exam the next day, another part of the sentence, and as helps us to connect both these parts of a sentence. And here as helps us to, or the clause beginning with as tells us a reason. In the previous sentence we saw that as helped us to connect two actions happening simultaneously. Here in this sentence as helps us to tell a reason. At the same time it helps us to connect two parts of a sentence, and it also helps us to tell a reason. I went to bed at 9 a.m. as I had an exam the next day. Looking into another example, as the prophet predicted, a divine baby was born in the village. Here we can see that we placed as at the beginning of the sentence. Even though we placed as in the beginning, here also as performs as a conjunction. How? Because here also it connects two parts of a sentence. The prophet predicted one part, a divine baby was born in the village, another part. Try to construct the sentence avoiding as without using any conjunction. The prophet predicted a divine baby was born in the village. You can see that there is no meaning. We feel something went wrong when we say this sentence without the help of as, without using as. So it's very clear that as functions here as a conjunction. And what purpose does as do here as a conjunction? It tells us in the same way as the prophet predicted. That is the purpose or the sense that as gives us in this sentence, in the same way. We can move on to another example. In this sentence, as the factory prospered, the enthusiasm of the workers also increased. The business prospered. What does it mean? The business of the factory increased. It began to get a lot of revenue, and it made its workers enthusiastic. They felt that if they work a lot, they can earn more money, and that made them to work more. That's the meaning of the sentence. As the factory prospered, the enthusiasm of the workers also increased. Here also we can see that we placed the word as in the beginning of the sentence. But here the function means here also as functions as a conjunction. It connects two parts of a sentence. But the sense it gives is slightly changed. What does as give, or what sense does as give in this sentence? It says about simultaneous changes, means changes happening together. Factory prospering, one change. Workers becoming enthusiastic, another change. Both these changes take place together, simultaneously. That is the sense of as here. I think all this information is a new information for you people, because you may not have think, if you are starting to learn your English, how many different uses are there when we use as conjunction. Please watch the video repeatedly. You will understand what differences are there in using as conjunction and as preposition, and when you watch the video repeatedly, you will be able to store it in your brain, and after that you have to make a number of sentences similar to these sentences that we used in the video, and you can see the wonder that you gradually improve in your English. Again, we have to move on to the difference between as and when. What difference it makes when we use as in a sentence and when in a sentence. Many people are confused in using as and when. Shall we look into it? In this sentence, when the sun rises, the darkness goes away. Let's look into what sense does the word when give us here. It gives us when one action takes place first, the other action happens. After that, one action takes place first, and as a result of it, the second action takes place. When the sun rises, the darkness goes away. The sun rises is the first action, and as a result of that, as a result of the sun rises, the darkness goes away. The darkness goes away is the second action, and that's the result of the first action. That's the indication that we get from the use of the word when. When the sun rises, the darkness goes away. But in this sentence, as the sun rises, the darkness goes away. We used the same sentence, but we changed the word when to as. And what change in the sense can we find out? The two actions happen at the same time. As gives us the indication of two actions happening at the same time. As the sun rises, the darkness goes away. But when we used when, the indication that we got from that was one action happened the first, and as a result of that first action, a second action happened later. See the wonder when we use different words in the same sentence, the meaning is changing widely. Without knowing these minute differences, you cannot improve your language, your English language. And we in Easy Walk to English Grammar will definitely give you wonderful information to improve your language, your English language. You can certainly become fluent and confident in using English both in writing and speaking. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now we can look for how we can use as for comparisons. How as is going to help us to compare things or persons. Here in this sentence, she loves sports as much as I do. We can see that when we used the phrase as much as, we could compare my love for sports and her love for sports. I have my love for sports. She has her love for sports. And when we wanted to tell that both of them are equal, my love for sports is equal to her love for sports, we used as much as to bring about that meaning. She loves sports as much as I do. When we used as much as in comparing things, we improved in our English language. we could make it wonderfully, the comparison. It's better than telling my love for sports is equal to her love for sports. It's not very much good to say like that. It doesn't sound formal. It doesn't uh, make others to feel that you are fluent in English. They may feel that you are blabbering something. So if you want to make a beautiful sentence, if you want to make a wonderful sentence in comparison, you can use as much as. She loves sports as much as I do. Make many. Try to make many sentences using as much as. It's not as much as alone is going to help us in comparing. There are some other uses also. One is, he is not as studious as his brother. Instead of as much as, we used as studious as. He is not as studious as. Here we are comparing his nature or his ability to study things and his brother's ability to study things. And we understood from this sentence that he is not able to study as much as his brother is able to study. Here, if we used as much as in this context, the sentence might have gone too much lengthy. So we can avoid it and can use these kinds of expressions. He is not as studious as his brother. He is not as clever as his friends. She is not as brilliant as her sister. Any type of sentence you can frame. Another example is, the robotic car runs so fast as the cheetah. Cheetah is the fastest animal in the world. And we can say that the robotic car runs so fast as. Instead of as fast as, we can also use so fast as. So fast as the cheetah. And we are comparing the fastness of the cheetah and the fastness of the robotic car. As much as studious as, so fast as. Look how many expressions that we learned today to make our comparisons sound formal, beautiful and wonderful, rather impressive. Please try to construct your own sentences. You will be able to improve your language. Dear friends, this video ends up here, but the uses of as is not going to end with this video. We have to continue with as in another video. Our next video will be about the further uses of as. To get a prompt notification when I upload my new video, please subscribe to the channel Easy Walk to English Grammar. While subscribing, please enable the bell icon and select the option All. Also, please give the video a like if you like the video, and please share the video with your friends and relatives who are interested in improving their English language. And please give your valuable suggestions as comments below in the comment box. And you can also ask your doubts through the comment box. I will be answering. Thanks a lot for watching the video. We'll be meeting soon with the continuation of the use of as in another video. Until then, take care. Bye for now.